What's going on, everybody? It's your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri, and today we're going to talk about the statement that Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, made on Friday in regards to the current climate that has captured much of the attention of everyone in our country. Now, the NFL, as everyone likely already knows, had a little situation back in 2016 with a person by the name of Colin Kaepernick. Now, I know for some that may trigger them. Hey, not my problem. He's a part of this story, regardless of whether you want to believe that or not. Right now, we are in a situation where we have to face some ugly truths about our society. And while everyone is entitled to their opinion, we also can't just ignore things that aren't right. And you have to call attention to stuff sometimes. And I'm the last person who wants to really dig into any kind of political talk here on this channel, because you know how we do it. We keep it football. We keep it sports centric. But the NFL actually came out and made a statement through Roger Goodell that it believes that Black Lives Matter.
It's been a difficult time for our country, in particular, Black people in our country. We, the National Football League, condemn racism and the systematic oppression of Black people. We, the National Football League, admit we were wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier. We, the National Football League, believe Black Lives Matter.
But when we think back 4 years, the NFL had a player by the name of Colin Kaepernick who was, in fact, protesting through a silent means, taking a knee during the national anthem. You know, I'm sure I don't have to rehash a lot of that story. We all kind of know what happened there. But the NFL has come out and announced that they were wrong to not listen to players and to not take the grievances that players were trying to express with their silent protest in the right way back in 2016. Now, the NFL obviously is an entity with 32 individual owners of football franchises. So there is going to be a difference in opinion, a difference in perspective, potentially from each and every one of those owners for those teams. But for me here as a former player myself, seeing something like this happen, it does have a lot of weight to it. Now, there is obviously the potential to question whether or not this was something done in a sincere manner by Roger Goodell. After all, the NFL is a business, and at the end of the day, their bottom line is what is most important to them. But I think that he made some very telling comments throughout that statement that would do the players in the NFL very well to take note and to begin to understand the kind of power that the player has if they're willing to unify and band together and exhibit it. And that's the issue that I've talked about many times in my videos when it comes to the NFLPA and the collective bargaining agreement that they fumbled away for the most part again in 2020, same as they did back in 2010 while I was still playing. But, you know, the players, and this is what Roger Goodell said about the players.
Without Black players, there would be no National Football League.
Roger Goodell said if there were no Black players in the NFL, there would be no NFL, which is 100% correct. It's not anything that, if you look at the NFL, it's about what, 70%, 75% African-American. From a mathematical standpoint, it's very unlikely that the NFL would be able to exist without its Black players. But that really is just one aspect of it. There is an initiative that the NFL has been trying to run with since 2016 in regards to trying to help build or invest into community-based projects with the focus on the Black community. And I think that that kind of renewal of that initiative's purpose in that statement that Roger Goodell made is something the players should take advantage of. You know, at the end of the day, we all know the tragedy and the horrific act that was committed against George Floyd. There's no doubt about that. But we also can't ignore at the same time that when we have an opportunity like this, we should absolutely be using that opportunity to try and better our community itself, because everyone's community has its own issues. The black community obviously has its own issues. People can try and use those statistics and try and use those narratives and twist them any which way they like, but you can apply those same metrics to any race across the board within this country and really around the world. So it's not so much the kind of thing that is exclusive to the black community, but when you have the power of the NFL behind you, players should be looking to take advantage of that, because they are the power. The real power in the NFL lie with the players. The players band together and say, we're not going to play on the first week of the season. There will be no football in the first week of the season. That is really what it boils down to. If the African-American players decided that they were not going to play in the first game of the season, there would be no first game of the season in the NFL. So there is a real power that the NFL just itself acknowledged and gave credence to, in that the NFL is truly beholden to the power of the players. So with all of that being said, Roger Goodell made a statement that he didn't clear with the owners, and that is very uncharacteristic of Roger Goodell. That's not something that he does. These guys pay him $50+ million a year to work in their best interest. And Roger Goodell decided that he was going to go off the reservation and make this statement to really kind of go against the interest of the owners in the NFL. Because I'm sure, as most of you know, there's a good amount of owners who are politically and business-wise would not be in the best position to get behind a statement like that. So, again, it comes back to, what does this mean that Roger Goodell said this, and why did he say it so suddenly? Well, if you paid attention again, 2 days before that, the NFL players released an independent PSA statement about racial inequality, about police brutality, and somewhat of a tribute to the situation that's going on in the country right now. And in that video was the Super Bowl MVP, the face of the NFL, the most popular player right now in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes.
This is what we, the players,
would like to hear you state.
We, the National Football League,
condemn racism and the systematic oppression of black people.
We, the National Football League,
admit wrong and silencing our players from peacefully protesting.
We, the National Football League,
Believe Black Lives Matter.
And it also included, obviously, all of the superstar black athletes within the NFL. That is a powerful statement to make. And from a public relations standpoint, I would think that the NFL may have gone into a panic, because when you have the face of your league, this young, mixed athlete who really is of the black culture, making that kind of statement, that is something that can be representative of the entire league itself. So I feel like Roger Goodell felt compelled to make this statement because particularly Patrick Mahomes was part of that message that was released online by these black NFL players. So I feel like that really may have just planted a seed. And, I'm not necessarily saying I'm making a prediction here, but I am saying that from a business standpoint, Roger Goodell may have planted the seed that may grow into seeing him removed as the commissioner of the NFL. Now, I wouldn't expect that to happen. I'm not in any way saying that it will, but the owners, had they known that he was going to say the things he said, you can't deny that there would have been some pushback there, and he probably would have had to adjust some things that he said in the statement to try and kind of meet that middle ground between what they view as beneficial for them and what he views as beneficial for the brand itself. Because really, at the end of the day, Roger Goodell is in charge of the brand of the NFL. And for anyone who has ever been involved with the NFL, you know that shield is more important than all the money that league makes each and every year. The NFL brand, that shield with that football and those stars, is probably the most protected brand in America and one of the most protected brands in the world. This is the American pastime. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments down below. What do you think about this statement that Roger Goodell made? Do you think it was a good statement? Do you think that he did it as a business move? Or do you think that it was both? I mean, he could potentially have been sincere about it. I don't doubt that there was that there was some sincereness. But again, it's a business, and when you have your MVP, Super Bowl MVP, out there making a statement like that in a group statement from many high-profile players, that can put some heat on a commissioner to try and smooth that out. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments down below. Like I say each and every video, hit that like button. Make sure you help me get that YouTube algorithm bumped up, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.